News Radio Wham 1180 welcomes you to the Seniors Rock Show, presented by Century Benefits Group, Medicare and Employee Benefits Advisors. The Seniors Rock Show is a lively weekly discussion shining a bright light on aging with fun, entertaining, and important info for all adults. Join in with your comments or questions. Call 222-1180 or 1-800-295-1180. Now, live from the News Radio Wham 1180 studios in downtown Rochester, here's your host, Joanna Palvino.
Welcome, folks, and welcome to Seniors Rock Radio. Today we're live. We're live from Sara'S Garden and Nursery in Brockport, New York. And we got some birds chirping, nature sounds, and clapping because we're really excited. State planning attorney Mike Robinson is also here with me. He's our co-host, and we're on this beautiful property that has so much more than meets the eye from the road or on the radio. So I hope that you'll stop down today. Sara'S Garden and Nursery is a family-owned and operated business that began as a small farm wagon offering homegrown vegetables and flowers. And today they're still family-run, and now they include a nursery and nearly 20,000 square feet of greenhouse. It is amazing, folks. So come on out. It's filled with lots of healthy plants available for you to take home and beautify your own place. Mike, isn't it beautiful? Well, this is our second year here, and I love it.
Yep. Hey, Joanna, happy Saturday. Yeah, there's an amazing collection of flowers. There's the stone structures, artfully done gardens you can stroll through or just hang out and relax. Hidden trails I discovered, lilies on the koi pond. It's quite the show.
And we have Kathy Kepler here, folks, and she is the owner of Sara'S, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the history. Kathy, so happy to see you today.
Hi, how are you? Thanks so much for coming. So history, let's see, we're going on 50 years here at the nursery, so that's pretty exciting. We've been here a long time, but it seems like the stone wall thing is pretty much the moment that put Sara'S on the map for something more than just their beautiful flowers. They're pretty special. We really hope people come out and get a chance to see them.
Well, I think we're going to get this party started. I have an idea here. We've got some Red Wings tickets, and I was thinking, how fun would it be to give away a 4-pack? So if you're in your car, you're driving around Batavia area, or if you can get here within the next hour, we have tickets to the Battle with the Buffalo Bisons next weekend. It's at Innovative Field in Rochester, and the first 2 people that come up and say they heard it on the radio are going to get a 4-pack. So listen up, folks. We're at Sara'S Garden Center in Brockport. Please don't speed if you're on your way here. Drive safe, okay? But we're going to go back now to Sarah. I keep calling her Sarah. It's actually Kathy Kepler at Sara'S Garden Center. And let's talk a little bit about how you got involved in this and how it's grown over the years.
Well, we've always been a family that liked working outdoors, loved plants. So it was just a natural progression to go from farming or growing vegetables to growing plants for the garden. And, the family just stuck with it. And here we are today, still doing it.
And they're generously also offering some other things for giveaway, folks. I'm telling you, we're having some fun here. Come on down, Sara'S Garden Center. She's got some pollinator shirts. We're going to be talking about pollinators and the plants that attract them in a few more minutes, too. Kathy, what are some of the special things that you have here that draw people in, the things that people comment on?
Well, right now, actually, June is National Pollinator Month. And so native collection is the best in June, as stuff comes on. And these are all hardy plants that grow here. So June is a time to put those things in the ground, see what you can put in your own garden. So that's one of the things that are really a big focus for our customers, for a lot of people. They love it. They love it. So that's a big thing that we do right now that we're focusing on.
And what about the walls?
The walls is never too. The walls is always a focus. That's really the most important part. They're so great. We are just so blessed that we had a good friend that got that whole stone wall gig going for us every year. There are actually classes. These walls on the property are all built by students. The teachers are pretty special people. John Shaw Rimington from Canada. Norman Haddow is from Scotland. Patrick McAfee is from Ireland. And what's funny is John was always the driving force for the creative, what to do, how to do it. But then uh, Norman was always the look. You build walls for a reason, not just for fun. They should serve a purpose. And then Patrick would always say, "Yeah, but they have to do both. You got to have serve the purpose, but there should be a story that goes with all these walls." And in the end, Norman, every class would say, "Kathy, it's just a wee bit of magic," in his sweet little accent, and he was just the most charming gentleman. But the gift they gave us, having the stone walls on the property, is just we couldn't thank them enough.
Yeah.
It's such a special part of the nursery and the garden.
Yeah, and I've never seen anything like it, and I've brought several people out here, and they're always very excited to see them too. And Kathy, I'd like you to tell the folks what you told us about the difference in the man from Scotland and the man from Ireland, and how their design differed.
Oh, okay. Well, so Norman, who is well into his 80s now, from Scotland, his nickname used to be the Big Stone Man. He wanted to get things done. He wanted them to be sturdy, built well, last forever, and do the job. By the way, Norman also was the Queen's Waller at Balmoral Castle. As a matter of fact, he built the Jubilee Tower to represent, what was it, 100 years, right? I think, yeah, it's amazing. So he's a pretty special guy. But it is all about utility for him. It needs to do a job. Well, so when Patrick came, he's Irish. They have their own little headbutt stuff, I think, right? So Patrick said, there needs to be a story, because you're forgetting about our fairies and you're forgetting about all the leprechauns. Those are part of these stories, and it was like this running joke between them. So Patrick's walls, like the wall that they built for us, was called a Fideen wall, which means family. And so it's a story how there's some of these stones are the mother stones, some are the father stones, some are the kids. And there's a story about why it's built the way it's built. You kind of have to see the wall to understand. Come visit. I'll explain it all to you. But it's so sweet. It's just very endearing. But the two of them together, it is magic.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it.
And folks, we are live at Sara'S Garden Center in Brockport. And if you come out here, we know that a few folks have stopped in. They look at all the beautiful flowers and the big greenhouses and all of the other wonderful things. And they do not know that if you keep going a little further in the back, that's where the stone walls are. And the stone walls, I'm telling you, it's like taking a trip to Europe. It's really cool. So, and I keep telling Kathy that, she needs to have a big sign saying the stone walls are that way, so no one misses them. So thank you for having us today here, Kathy, and for all you do. I mean, it's something that you provide for the community, because I understand that, you have folks that come and have maybe wedding pictures and things like that, right?
We do wedding pictures. We do weddings. We're doing a big wing right here at Sarah, so all the gardeners can get together. So we being part of the community is a big thing for us. It matters, and we really like to help with that and share our experiences with plants. And plants kind of bring people together. It's a thing.
Yeah, I'll say. Now, I'm going to say, if you don't make it today, Sarah's is open 7 days a week, 9 to 5. And you can also check it out on Facebook. I posted a few things this week on the Seniors Rock Radio Facebook. And you could see the stone walls and some folks around there. And after the break, we have a couple more minutes here, but after the break, we're going to be talking about pollinators. And I know that's a big buzz right now. I know that was funny, right? Anyway, Nick Bell shares how we can plant things to attract pollinators. And I'm all about it. I've tried myself, and I'm starting to get a little bit more astute about which things are, drawing them. And I can see them coming into the yard, the bees and the flowers. And of course, I love my hummingbird. I think she came back from last year. So I'm really happy to be here. It's a beautiful place. Folks, stop in if you can. If you can't make it in the next hour, come back anytime. But if you do get here in the next hour, come on up to the table. I got a prize for you. And Kathy, anything you want to say here before you go? And we're going to talk to Nick in a few minutes. And thank you for introducing him to us. But before you go back into your flower garden there, anything else you wanted to say to the folks?
Yeah, first, thank you so much, Joanne and Mike, for coming. It was really great. I really love this. In honor of Seniors Rock Radio. So we do a senior day here at the nursery once a week. we're giving people a discount on their plants. So in honor of Seniors Rock Radio this weekend, we're going to make believe everyone's a senior. So everybody can come in today and get their senior discount. No, even if you're like 20, come on in. We got it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Kathy. That's a very nice offer. And we are going to be here, as I said, for an hour. We'll be here till noon, and we might be out there wandering around the gardens after that. And if you'd like to stop by, I hope you do. And I hope that you will walk up to the table. We're right out in front. So we've got tickets, we've got T-shirts, and we've got some nice people for you to meet. And Mike, anything you wanted to add here before we go to break?
No, just, what a beautiful day to be here. And if you are out in the Brockport area, stop in, say hello to us, and check out some plants.
I love this time of year, and it is a beautiful day. I'm looking at a blue sky, folks. They had said earlier it might rain, but it's not raining here in Brockport. So come on out. Again, Sara'S Garden Center, and it's Sara'S Garden and Nursery Center. Why do they call it Nursery Center?
Well, garden is, usually it's garden center. That's what most garden centers are called. But we wanted to, when people say garden, I wanted to think of the garden rather than just a retail. And then we still sell plants too.
All right, good. So anybody that needs anything to do with planting, come on out, okay? But don't go away if you are listening, because we're going to be right back with Nick Bell, and he's going to talk about pollinators and plants. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
You belong among the wildflowers. You belong in a boat out at sea. Sail away.
Oh, that's a nice song, Pam. Thank you. It's a song about flowers, and that's because we are broadcasting live today from Sara'S Garden and Nursery Center in Brockport, New York. Our next guest is here with us, Nick Bell, and Nick is co-owner of Bell Design and Landscape. That's in Holly, New York, and he is there with his partner, Hannah Beal. And the two B's, they're together. They're a landscape design build company, and he's going to tell us about that in a minute. Our friend Kathy here at Sara'S recommended Nick because of his expertise in native plants and pollinators, and that's what attracts them. So pollinators are animals that move pollen from the male part of a flower to the female part, and that enables fertilization and the production of seeds and fruits. Many plants rely on the pollinators for reproduction, including the bees and butterflies, birds, bats, and even some of the small mammals. All very important things for our planet Earth. So we're all in, and we'd like to now welcome Nick Bell to Seniors Rock Radio. And Nick, so great to have you here, and thank you for your work, the work that you're doing.
Well, thank you. It's very nice to be here.
So, Nick, I have a question for you. We're talking about native plants. Why is planting native plants so important?
Well, one reason that planting native plants is important because that's the avenue in which energy from the sun enters the food web. For example, plants use the sun's energy to grow their plant parts, such as leaves, and then insects would come along, eat the leaves, and then birds or reptiles or other mammals would come and eat the insects. And that's how the sun's energy travels through the food web. Now, it's important to use native plants to fill this role because many native insects have evolved to eat only one particular plant or one particular group of plants. And without that one particular plant, their population declines. The dependence of the monarch butterfly on milkweeds is a well-known example of this.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of that. So, okay, that's important. What else can gardeners do to support local pollinators and ecosystems?
Generally speaking, planting more native plants and avoiding invasive plant species will do a great deal to help local ecosystems. Now, gardeners might feel challenged or somewhat powerless because their gardens are smaller than native habitats and native areas. However, it's important to realize that if a majority of gardeners or a critical mass of community members can add native plants to their gardens, then those gardens can link together as stepping stones or corridors that can connect separated but larger habitats.
Very interesting. And I'm wondering now, does your company, Bell Design and Landscape, by the way, if you just tuned in, do you always incorporate native plants into your landscape designs?
We do. We use primarily native plants in all of our planting plans. There's always a few exceptions. There's still some great garden plants that are not native, but I would say you have to draw the line at invasive species. We don't plant any invasive species. We encourage everybody else to not plant invasive species, because these are plants that can escape cultivation and work their way into our natural ecosystems and really outcompete our native plants and reduce biodiversity.
Well, a lot to think about, and it's so important. And, the plants we need them. We need all of these things. So, again, thank you for what you do. Now, I have another question. For the folks that are out there, the listeners, and maybe they want to get into getting plants that are going to help the pollinators, what are some of those basic plants that you might suggest, Nick? And, we'll talk about it a little bit more in the next segment, but I just wonder if there's a couple that you might mention so folks can maybe jot them down.
Sure. And, June is pollinator month. So thinking about some plants that are blooming in June. And right now, penstemon is a favorite group of plants that we use. Penstemon digitalis, or foxglove beard tongue, and its red leaf cultivar Husker's Red is a popular choice. A lesser known penstemon that's been performing really well for us is Penstemon hirsutus, hairy beard's tongue. Both species do well in full sun to part sun, in medium to medium dry soil.
So I'm not going to remember those Latin words. Can you just tell us again what the names are? So if someone wanted to ask for them, say at Sara'S.
Sure. Yeah, the Latin can be tough to remember sometimes. Foxglove beard's tongue. They're all called beard's tongue. Penstemons are called beard's tongue. Foxglove beard's tongue is one, and then hairy beard's tongue is the second. Yeah.
Who comes up with these names? I'd like to know. Anyway, Mike, do you have any pollinator plants in your yard? Do you know that?
Yeah, we do, and I'm actually planning on bringing some more home today. And that was going to be, we were talking off the air about it's not too late to put those plants in, correct?
I'm going to ask Nick.
Oh, correct. Yeah, we at our company we plant right probably through mid-October, because the soil retains more heat than the air, so it still allows those plant roots to keep growing and get established a little bit later than we think that they could.
Okay, we're talking about the walls here, and there's a beautiful koi pond, and there's the music. But when we come back, we're going to talk to Nick Bell a little bit more, and I think we're going to get Kathy back here too, because we want to talk more about these pollinators and some of the things that Nick's business does. And I think he maybe does water things. I don't know. I'm going to ask him, but if you stay there, you'll find out too. No, he says no, but we have other things. Don't go away. We'll be right back after the news from Sara'S Garden and Nursery Center in Brockport, New York.
Sugar magnolia, blossoms glowing, that's all empty and I don't care. So my baby down by the river.
And welcome back to Seniors Rock Radio. Joanna and I are live from Sara'S Garden and Nursery Center on is it East Main here in Brockport?
It's West Main.
East Ave, thank you. All right. And so we're here with Nick Bell of Bell Design and Landscape, and also Kathy Kepler, owner here at Sara'S. And before the break, Nick, we were talking about plants that we can put in the garden to attract pollinators. What else you got for us there?
Well, we can keep talking about a few more plants. We talked about penstemons before as a great talking about plants that are flowering behind us. Spigelia, or Indian pink, it's a great June blooming perennial for shady or part sun conditions. Stands about 2 feet tall with upright stems with a beautiful red and yellow tubular flower.
Now, I'm looking at these plants, and they're right behind us here. We're in front of the garden center, folks. So if you're driving by, come on in. In fact, if you hear this and you would like to go to a Red Wing game, come on over here. I have 4 tickets for you. Anyway, so this the plants, the Indian pink that Nick just mentioned, is also called Little Redhead. I really like that. And they're right behind me. They're red. They're beautiful. and they are safe for pollinators. And they are called American Beauty native plants, and that's an effort by a lot of folks to protect pollinators and other wildlife for our children's future and our grandchildren. We got some grandchildren, and we're going to see our new grandbaby today, actually. And what else, Nick? What do you have a favorite flower? I'm going to put you on the spot.
For me, what comes to mind is a plant that's useful for us in our business that we can use in a lot of tough conditions, and we know that it's going to be reliable. It's not going to be a fussy plant. One of those for us is Monarda bradburyiana, or Bradbury's Monarda. It's powdery mildew resistant, deer resistant, which is a huge challenge these days. It's great for full sun and dry or medium dry soil, about 2 feet tall, 2 feet wide, with kind of that traditional Monarda or bee balm flower. Bradbury's Monarda.
That's the regular name?
That's the regular name, yeah.
Yeah, because some of these names I can't pronounce, I'll tell you that. And Mike, what about your garden? You're always talking about working in the garden. Now, are you conscious of this, and are you doing it consciously to bring pollinators into your yard?
So we are. I have to confess, Kelly is the architect of it all and does most of the work in the gardens. But they are pretty. And yeah, we do, we talk about what our plants can we put in, as Nick said, they need to be deer resistant. But also we're trying to create those, at least be part of a pollinator, corridor. So we're leaving some areas of the lawn unmowed. We're intentionally putting in plants like bee balm, and got a lot of milkweed. No issues there. So yeah, we are trying to be intentional about that.
That's great. I'm so happy to hear it, folks. I hope you're doing that too. And I know the zoo, the Santa Park Zoo, has been a question for you. And Kathy was laughing at me because I asked her, I said, now what are those tall, thin, purple flowers? And she started laughing. She said, there's like 200 of those. So I'm going to narrow it down. Nick gave me the name, but he knows which one I'm talking about. Now, I think they draw a lot of bees to my garden. Tell us about that plant, Nick.
I think you're talking about salvia, and maybe
Yes.
the tall upright stems would be a cultivar called caradana, which is salvias are a great group of plants, perennial plants. Majority of them are purple. They're not native plants, but still a great garden plant. Again, it's not an invasive plant. We want to draw the line there. And they do attract pollinators. Generalist species will go to salvias. And if we want to attract those specialist pollinators, a lot of our native pollinators are specialists, we would need to plant more native plants. But salvia is one of the ones that we do like to use.
Well, I alluded earlier that I was going to ask you what else you do besides plant flowers. Obviously, you do shrubs and things, but what's the main design thing that you do? I mean, do you have something that you specialize in?
Well, we've sort of been talking about it a little bit. I would say our design build company focuses on the design and installation of perennial rich gardens, and with a focus on using native plants. We also do a fair amount of hardscape work, which would be patios, sidewalks, walls, with a focus on using natural stone.
I love it. And speaking of stone, there are those walls in the back here, and I know everybody doesn't know about them. It's almost like a secret, and I'm going to make Kathy put a sign out here. I mentioned that earlier, but I think it is one of the things to see. Besides the flowers, I do not know how she keeps them all so beautiful. It's so beautiful out here, and we are at Sara'S Garden Center, again, Brockport, East Avenue, and we're talking with Nick Bell from Bell Design and Landscape, and he is out here too, but I think you're in Holly, right? Yeah, Holly, New York.
Yeah, we're in Holly.
Which is really close to Brockport. So if you want to get some design done, some landscaping, Nick is the guy to talk to. And if you want to get the plants, guess what? You can come to Sara'S, and they're all here. I see people pulling in. If you're just if you're listening right now and you're pulling in here, I've got some tickets for you for the Red Wing game. We're right here, and also some pollinator shirts that Kathy was so nice to donate for giveaways. We have some plants right behind me that are pollinator friendly. And Nick, anything else you're thinking about today as far as, giving people maybe some tips about how to get started if they don't know what to do first?
Yeah, give us a call. One place that we always advise people to start with your site. Look at your site, look at the growing conditions, look at the sun patterns, the shade patterns, the soil moisture. What's the site telling you? That can inform you what plants to select. For example, dry conditions, look for plants that prefer dry conditions. There's a saying that says, right plant, right place, and that's really important when designing native gardens.
I like that. Right plant, right place. That's excellent. And folks, everybody can garden. I think there's something about it that's just so grounding. And I don't mean to, that's not a fun, but it really is. It makes you feel good to get your hands dirty. In fact, my daughter last week, I was saying, you want my garden gloves? We were working in the garden, and she said, no, I like to get my hands dirty. And I think that's a great thing. And there's something about it, right, Kathy? Yes. She is nodding her head. Folks, please stay with us. We'll be right back. And we've got a couple more things to talk about. We are at Sara'S Garden Center in Brockport. Say hello if you're coming by. And we got about 15 more minutes here live on the air. Thanks for joining us.
Why do you fill me up, buttercup baby, just to let me down? And mess me around, and then worst of all,
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is Seniors Rock Radio. We are at Sara'S Garden Center in Brockport, New York, right on East Avenue. We're going to be here for a few more minutes. But, it's really beautiful. I know this is radio, folks, and you can't smell the flowers, but believe me, it's really, really wonderful here. And you can smell flowers at Sara'S Garden Center today or any day. And being outdoors is always so nice. But when you get home, you want your indoor air to be fresh too. So I have a suggestion for you. And, when you get home, or I guess this is the summer, right? So heat and humidity can add to the already unhealthy debris that's collecting in your indoor air ducts and air conditioning system. You might not think about that. We drink good water, we exercise, we eat right, we socialize. What about the air you're breathing? One duct cleaning could change your life with healthy benefits like less allergens and less dusting. That's one of my favorites. Don't let your ductwork in indoor air be out of sight, out of mind. Call Indoor Air Professionals. We did our research, John and I, and we made the right decision. Finally, go off. Call today. Take advantage of summertime offers from Indoor Air Professionals, like $400 off the portable medical grade air purifier. And that's 40 times more effective than HEPA filtered air purifiers. Or $400 off the high capacity dehumidifier. Get rid of that moisture in the air. And if that doesn't get your attention, do you want to dust less? I'm going back to that because you can get $175 off the duct cleaning today. Call Peter Gordon, our buddy there at Indoor Air. He'll answer the phone, 585-427-8020, extension 303. Call Peter, 585-427-8020, extension 303. Mike, what a beautiful day. They said it was going to rain, but guess what? We put it in our order for sunshine, and here it is. We are at Sara'S, and this is a beautiful day to be here.
It is, and I'm enjoying the outdoor air right now. Beautiful breeze. Just sitting here around the flowers. We got a little bit of shade. I just might stay here all afternoon.
Well, I think we could do that. I don't think Kathy will mind it.
No. Hey, I wanted to just briefly mention something. I had a question from a client this week regarding their estate plan, and they wondered how much information should they share. And that's actually a question we do get quite often. And every family's different, but Joanna, generally speaking, I think the more information you can share about the estate plan, the better. Whether it's who's going to manage your affairs for you at that time, who's receiving what. Too often people are blindsided by that, and it can actually create some tensions and friction within the family. Especially with sons-in-laws and daughters-in-laws at times. So it's really important, I think, and again, with the caveat that every family is different, I generally encourage clients to share as much information as possible. And, as we've talked about before, don't just have the conversation, make sure it's in writing, because people remember things differently. And when it comes to, distributions and fiduciary appointments, It has to be in writing, or it's just not going to be legally enforceable. So anyway, back to flowers and plants. I don't know about you, but when we wrap up today, I'm going to take a walk around the grounds. It's always fun to look at the stone walls. We got to do that last year. I do have some plants to pick up as well. So looking forward to poking around, and Kathy's going to help me out there. So I'll look forward to that. But hey, Kathy, Nick, this was great information. Thanks so much for being here with us this afternoon. And
what do you usually say at the end of the show, Mike?
well, I guess we are getting close to wrap up, aren't we? So hey, folks, have a great week. Thanks for spending some time with us. Be well and be kind.
And we're talking about bees today. I love that. And I'm not going to tell you the bee joke. John's looking at me like, don't do it. Anyway, I would like to leave you today with a really nice quote, and that is from Ralph Waldo Emerson. And it is, "The earth laughs in flowers." And I thought that was appropriate for today and every day. So folks, enjoy the flowers, get outside and be part of nature. It'll change your life if you haven't done it. Okay. Take a walk, just enjoy. And I hope you'll join us again next Saturday. We had a great time today here at Sara'S with Kathy Kepler and Nick Bell. And we appreciate all of their information. We hope that you'll visit them, and we hope that you'll support all of our sponsors. You'll find them at seniorsrockradio.com. And you'll also see a contact page there. You can say hello or send us a note. Maybe tell us what you'd like to hear about, and we're happy to oblige. And next Saturday, live at 11 here on News Radio Wham 11, or 1180. I have too many numbers. 1180. We are going to be here, and we will have, who's going to be here next week? Dr. Petrescu. It's the 4th of July weekend, so join us then. And I hope you enjoyed the show. You have a great rest of your weekend. Celebrate summer. Celebrate every age, because we're all in this together. Remind each other, smell the flowers, and seniors rock.